Okay, Mr. Shaw, let's have
No,
you sit
no,
down.
no, 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 don't stop, stop, no,
Mr. Shaw.
don't, no,
Sorry, I stopped
no,
you.
no,
What-
don't
oh my
do,
goodness, Mr. Shaw.
no.
What happened?
Don't do that,
to
don't
you?
ever do that, don't ever do that to me again.
Okay, let's just calm you down. Let's just calm down, take a couple breaths, and then what we can do is we can start on your stretches. How does that sound? Okay, let's just take a couple breaths here. Whenever you're ready, you just let me know, okay? And then we'll start with those stretches. That's what you came here for. Great.
Dora, I got an urgent page. Is this for Mr. Shaw?
Yes, it is. He's here with hip pain. I suspect it's tendonitis. I've been working with him today on some strengthening and some stretching.
Yeah. Has it gotten worse or has something happened?
Well, this is sensitive. I've worked with Mr. Shaw only one other time before, and I didn't notice anything at the time. However, I think it's really important that you see him before his daughter picks him up. I suspect abuse.
Yeah, that's what the nurse said. I called Ken Cray, social work, to come over. As soon as I've had a chance to look at Mr. Shaw, the three of us should meet. Catch me up on what you're seeing.
Well, I was helping him with balance, and when I touched his shoulder, he had excruciating pain. When I looked a little bit closer, I noticed on his wrist and on his forearms that he had some fresh bruises, and even underneath it, some what looked like older bruises, really quite nasty. I tried to get him to tell me what had happened, but he just got really agitated and confused.
Well, it could be the medicine. We'll check. But you did get him settled.
Yes, I did a good scan of him before we did our work, and we got through that. He has calmed down now, and he's having a glass of water, and I told him that the two of us would be coming back to see him.
Okay, and how about his hips? Any problems?
Well, he seems to be progressing well. The pain rating is hard to know because of his diagnosis, and I don't have a baseline on the tremors, but he does think that I'm Stephanie.
Well, let's go see him now.
Okay, great.
Good morning, Mr. Shaw. How are those hips treating you?
I've got to call Jane to come and pick me up. She doesn't like to be kept waiting. Stephanie, would you call Jane?
All in good time. Mr. Shaw, can you tell me why you're here today?
Well, you tell me. You're the doctor. What am I paying you for? It's my hips. They hurt.
And we hope that the physical therapy is helping. This is Dora, who's been working with you today. Dora would like me to look at your bruises. Do you think you could take your shirt off for me, please?
We obviously need to make a report to Adult Protective Services right away.
Yeah, that's a definite. Let's get the nurse to take him to the blood lab for tests, just to rule out any other reasons for those bruises. Now, do we have any information about how bad Mr. Shaw's sundowning behaviors have been?
I found a copy of an application for home services, and it looks like she's a primary caregiver and that she moved into his home earlier this year. However, when she gets home, he's often aggressive and violent, and also his confusion has been increasing as well.
So she could likely say that the bruising is from her trying to restrain him.
Yeah, maybe, and that may be partly true, but that still doesn't explain the bruising on the underside of his arms. And under the circumstances, we really can't ask her very much about it. Now, is the family under any other stresses?
Well, I believe Jane has POA, power of attorney, and it looks like that they applied for in-home care and respite, but they were also denied services. So obviously some financial stress right there, but we don't have much time, so we need to figure out if we're going to let him go back home or if we need to go ahead and call the police. But if we call the police, he'll essentially be left homeless, and we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with him.
Yeah, and what are our steps for his treatment, and what and when for follow-up, and what resources we can find for Mr. Shaw?
Well, should we wait to hear from Adult Protective Services and then decide?
Dora, I missed that detail you gave Dr. Hoyle. I'd like to give APS a call and run this by them before making my formal report, but I'd like to have your information first.
Sure. How long will it take to file the report? Do you need me to do it?
It's about 20 minutes.
No, maybe 30.
I'll take care of it. As a mandated reporter, I need to make sure it gets done, or do it myself. I'd like to talk to Mr. Shaw before or after his labs, just to get a thorough risk assessment.
Yeah. Let's make sure that there's somebody with him at all times in the meantime. When Jane comes, let's get her along with me. And with you too, Ken. Let's see what she has to say about her father's sundowning behaviors and what she can tell us about his medication. Maybe we'll get some sense of what's going on and how she's handling it.
APS would like to know if we feel comfortable with sending him home with his daughter or finding an immediate placement.
Yeah, well, let's plan on meeting again later today.
Did you call my daughter? Jane doesn't like to be kept waiting.
Yes, Mr. Shaw, we'll call her. Let's go ahead and finish talking first, and then we'll go to the lab, do some tests, and once we're done, we'll go ahead and give Jane a call.
I don't know what I'd do without her. She takes care of all the bills and the bank. Insurance papers all confuse me. She does that too.
It's great to see when kids can help the parents.
She used to be in charge of a store, but she's at work now.
What does Jane do right now?
I don't know. She lives at home with me now. Clumsy and confused all the time. I don't know what I'd do without her. I give her so much trouble. I feel bad I give her so much trouble. It's not her fault.
Mr. Shaw, can you tell me if Jane has ever done anything to hurt you?
My arm hurts. So does my hip. I used to have money every month. I don't know where it goes anymore. I eat beans.
Can you tell me any more?
No. No one would believe it.
That's complicated.
What are you most concerned about?
Besides whether or not Mr. Shaw needs emergency housing, I'm worried about retaliation against him. Jane's going to be pretty angry, and she's going to realize it was either the physical therapist or the doctor that reported it. That's got to be rough for Jane, though. It's a father that had to move in with her, a job that had to change. He's getting physically and mentally worse, and it sounds like she's got no help to take care of him.
She might have a mental illness herself, or the stress could simply be too much, which is not to say she's not culpable.
If we're to help Mr. Shaw, our system is going to have to help Jane.